Okay, people, I'm back. I'm on my grizzle again. And this time I want to talk about Black Lives Matter. And let me preface before I say this. Cops killing unarmed black men, cops killing unarmed human beings is wrong, period. There's no one who is above being questioned or asked why. Your government, police officers, or including God, for those of you who believe in God, or your pastors, whatever. There's nobody above being asked why. Because I think a lot of times when stuff happens, especially when there's tragedy in people's lives, they always look and ask God, like, why did it happen to me? But I've stopped doing that, and I stopped doing that years ago after I got shot. And I tell myself, I ask my question, why not me? Because who am I that I'm so special that me getting shot and having a spinal cord injury couldn't happen to? But back to Black Lives Matter. Enough of that bullshit. Do Black Lives matter when it's black on black crime? And I'm asking that because I went to the DR today because I dislocated my finger. And because I have a spinal cord injury and my dexterity in my hands aren't like they used to be, I couldn't fix my finger myself. So I went to the emergency room and to have them put my finger back in the joint. But of course, I was there for 5 hours. But that's a whole nother story. But in the 5 hours I was there were 3 Flight for Life helicopters come in. And when I got in the back in the emergency room, I happened to be at the first door, but the first emergency room, man. So I seen everything when people came in with the ambulance and the fire department. And when the Flight for Life helicopters came in, it was minority people, black, I should say. And they were gunshots. And it had nothing to do with police shooting. So my question to people who are campaigning for Black Lives Matter is, why aren't we marching up and down, stopping traffic when we kill each other? Now, is there a systemic infrastructure set up where black people are forced into certain situations? Sure. But we also have choice. And we're individuals and we're able to make decisions for ourselves. I grew up in the hood, grew up on the west side of Chicago, moved to Milwaukee, grew up on the east side of Milwaukee, and violence is all, I've seen violence my whole life. So I've participated in violence. But I've never shot or killed anyone. And I have had on my persons before guns. Actually, when I got shot, I may have had a gun on me at the time. But that's a whole nother story, but whatever. My question to Black America is that when are we going to start holding ourselves accountable for killing each other? And we expect other races to hold our lives dearly to them, and we don't hold them dearly to ourselves. Now, before people start calling me Uncle Tom and all this other extra bullshit, far from that, because I think that, police officer killing unarmed people is wrong, and you're not a threat to a police officer if you don't have a weapon. I don't care if you run at a police officer, they have tasers. If you have a knife, you're not a threat to a police officer because you have a taser and you can easily use that taser to the extent of the law. So for you to pull out a gun and shoot someone and say, I was fearing for my life, then either your training is fucked up or you're just fucked up. And I believe most of police officers, and not all police officers, but the ones who kill unarmed minorities or unarmed people or rape women and stuff like that, you're fucked up. And you became a police officer to get away with you being fucked up. And the news media have agenda and they get out here and say this and they say that and they feed you all these stories. And the citizens of America When are you going to stop letting people think for you? Everything that you hear on the news isn't the fucking truth. Because if it was, we wouldn't need more than one media outlet. You realize that, right? Because if we all was just telling the truth and not giving our opinions and didn't have an agenda, it would only be one media outlet. We wouldn't have Fox News, CNN, and MSNBC. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same thing with religion. If there's only one God, why do we have all these different religions? This is something to ponder. So get your shit together before somebody else get it together for you. Good night. Thank you for coming out. And I could say something else, but I'm not.